there's a relationship now that consumers have with brands which are very different from what they had before. Because today they look at brands almost as a person who's having a conversation with them, who gives them experiences, who live with them. And therefore the way marketers look at a marketing program or advertising or communication is really undergoing a change. And in fact, we talk about trends, but we also talk about the conflicts therefore marketers are facing, because on one hand you have the way we used to market in a traditional way, and you still sort of wonder, do I give that up? But you realize that things are moving in a different direction. So some of the trends I have personally witnessed is, of course, the first and the biggest one is that the consumer is a collaborator now. And a lot of the clients I work with, as well as the work I see around me, corroborates this fact that, you need the consumer to be part of your program. The consumer is not consuming your communication like he's consuming your product, he or she. It is about what can I do to be a part, or what can we do to make the consumer a part of the program. So for example, and it's a PepsiCo example, Pepsi did crash the Pepsi IPL in 2015, and it was a great case of the brand's biggest asset is actually its advertising, the celebrities, the communication, the messaging, the airtime, which is prime time. And for the first time the brand actually acknowledged the fact that it's time to take a back seat and to let the consumer, youth, who like to have a stage and a spotlight, and say, you make the next Pepsi ad for us, show your love for the brand, and we will put it up on prime airtime. And to me it was about handing the brand voice over to the consumer, and only bold brands can do that. And I feel that brands that walk the talk and capture this trend will be the brands of the future, and there are a lot of other brands who've done this. The second trend that I see is actually a reverse mentorship, which is you have budding entrepreneurs, startups who are actually showing us the way, a lot of unlearning of what was learning in marketing a long time back. So for example, innovations. What are innovations? What are innovations with a local relevance? What's turnaround time? What are things that can also improve lives, make things matter? What are things that can empower the housewife? Things that maybe marketers didn't think about before or thought about in a different way, is being looked at by entrepreneurs and startups as a platform to actually launch new products or new ideas. And this reverse mentoring is helping marketers a lot in understanding and capitalizing on trends. The third one, which is really a big one, is what I love calling making strange bedfellows. The kind of partnerships brands are getting into and have to get into are very different from what it was before. So today a brand can collaborate with an artist, with a chef, with a musician, with students, and they can be part of the core team that actually decides what would be the next innovation, what could be the next concept on the brand. We didn't see that before. It was always the brand was in the hands of the manufacturer or the brand owner, and that today is getting into this partnership. The last one, there are a lot, but something that's close to my heart is the role of women and how it's changing as a trend in two ways. One, the women as a consumer. Economic independence, how is she the deciding factor? Guiltless spending. I like taking calls and I like spending on myself and what I want to do, dabbling in my passions, earning money, getting the best for my children, for my family, being out in the open about what I really feel, my emotions, etc. So trying to portray that in brand conversations and communications is one big trend. The other one is, of course, seeing a lot more women as marketers themselves, and I think that makes a big difference because women do own half the sky, and when you as a woman are sitting on the marketing front, on the marketing table, there are a lot of insights that you can bring in, which makes that difference. So these are broadly the trends I've really seen in terms of marketing. In terms of going into the future or going into the new year, a couple of things, 2 or 3 things actually really stand out. The first one is storytelling. I think with content emerging and free content, first of all, being a strong contender to brand communication. Today, we're going back to the age of great storytelling. What is being labeled as content? We could call it brand journalism. But to me, it is about stories which are based on strong insights. So brands are investing and have to invest a lot more. So yes, there is big data, but how do you mine the data? How do you get under the skin of the consumer? What are the feelings? What are the interactions? How do they deal with the different screens in their lives? What is it that drives them? And therefore, how do you sort of come up with a story that really gets under your skin and into the emotion? Because if the conversation that the brand is having does not touch your heart, or make your pulse racing, somewhere people lose interest, because there's enough content out there to give you that same high. The other one is the emergence of design. I think the overall sense of aesthetics is undergoing a dramatic change. So today when I go to a shelf, I see a nice looking product or a brand and I buy it, and I go home and say, you know what, I love the packaging and so I bought it. Aesthetics are therefore becoming a big thing. So investment in design per se is a way to go for the future. A lot of this was discounted before, but consumers, and by design I mean retail design, design of products, design of packaging, design of POS, everything that a person interacts with when you get into the world of the brand. So that's another big thing. The third one is about making things matter. I think the purpose of the brand has to go beyond consumption, and the brands that are making a difference to society, to individual lives, brands that can say that yes, I have made that little shift in a way of living, in sustenance, in sustainability, this whole cycle of people and planet. Making things matter will make that vital difference between just any other brand and a brand that I want to pick up tomorrow. And I feel that's a big shift. In terms of marketers, and I tell that to myself first of all, because it has to start with the person themselves. It's an oft-used word, but it is important. You have to be bold today, and bold means unlearning a lot of things that we have learned before, and we don't want to give up what we've learned. We don't want to give up what makes us comfortable. It is about unlearning. It is about saying, I don't know enough. I need partners around me, and that partner can be someone who shines more than me. It doesn't matter. I think partnerships, collaborations, being bold enough to go with the gut are some of the things that marketers had done before. I think we all got comfortable with research, with not experimenting enough, and I think the time has come now where consumers are pushing us to do that. So that is something which I feel will make a difference.